this lecture, you're going to learn how to install Composer on a Mac. The process for installing Composer on Mac is quite different from installing it on Windows. The very first thing that we want to ensure is that we're using the right version of PHP. Alright, so let's open the terminal. So remember to check the version of PHP. We just type in php-v. This tells us that by default, the PHP installed on this Mac is PHP version 5.5. But what I want to do is actually ensure that I'm using PHP 7 to run Composer. So to do that, we need to actually make some modification to the profile of the currently logged in user. So we're going to type in vim, then theta. Theta just refers to the default directory. So in case you're not in the home directory, type in theta/.bash_profile. And then hit enter. This is going to open a new file. Type I to insert. And then what we want to do here is create an alias to the PHP that was installed when we installed map. So we're going to type in alias. Then the name for this alias will be map PHP. Should be equal to the path where PHP is installed inside of map. So to find out that path, you need to go over to applications and then see where PHP is installed. To applications, then look for map, go to bin, and then you see a PHP folder. PHP, look for PHP 7.1 or PHP, depend on the version that they're using. So let's take this and then take bin. All right, this is what we're looking for, this executable file. So let's attempt to see if we can drag it here. All right, so we are able to just drag it in there. All right, so come here, close the quotes, and then remove this. All right, press the escape key and then press shift and semicolon to give you a column, and then type in WQ to write and quit. Now to see if our alias is working, we just need to type in map php-v. All right, it says command not found. This is probably because we need to open a new terminal. So just close this terminal and then open a new one. Then type in map php-v. Right now it tells me PHP 7.1.0 because we are now referencing the PHP that was installed when we installed map. So this way, when we want to install Composer, we're just going to tell Composer to use the PHP version that we defined in the alias. Let me just ensure that map is running. All right, start up the server. Okay, so we have map running. I'm going to verify the version of PHP again. All right, so 7.1.0. Then we're just going to minimize this. We can now install Composer using the version of PHP that was installed when we installed map. So go to say core-s, and then just give the URL. Core will automatically go and fetch and download Composer for us. So https://. So this will be the link to the website getcomposer.org/installer. And last thing we need to do is to use the pipe symbol and then specify which PHP we want to use. So say map PHP and then hit enter. All right, all settings correct for using Composer. It's now downloading Composer into the home directory. All right, so Composer has been successfully installed into my home directory. So if I wanted to run Composer now, I could use map php composer.far. Right, so this will run Composer from this directory where it was installed. But what we want to do is actually run Composer globally. So from anywhere on the system, I could just type in Composer and then I'll get the same output. So to do that, we need to move the composer.far file into our local bin directory. Sudo mv, which is the command to move and rename. Okay, so we're going to move and rename that file composer.far. Rename it to Composer, but now in a different location, user/local/bin. So let's try to do that. So file we want to move is composer.far. where we're moving it to users / local / bin. On some Mac, bin folder may not be existing inside local. So what we need to do is to check first if it's existing. If it's not, then we create it. Call this composer and then hit enter, type in my password. All right, so could not move it, no such file or directory. So what I need to do is sudo mkdir to make a directory /users /local /bin. All right, so we've made the directory. Repeat the operation again. And now it successfully moved it into the local bin directory. Let's just attempt to type in composer now, see. All right, so we still get the exact same thing. We have now succeeded to install composer globally. So if you're following along with map, we need to do one more thing, which is actually to go over to the map installation folder and then just create a project in there. So the htdocs. All right, so I haven't created any project here previously. Going to change to this directory, cd, inside my htdocs. And then here you can just make a directory, mkdir composer. Change to the composer directory. And then once again, just run composer. All right, so we can now run composer from anywhere inside of our system.